All right, what's good, y'all? Skookum here. On today's menu, brains. Just kidding, kind of. So today we're going to be preparing an elk spike skull for a European mount. I'm going to show you how I do that. And that's skinning it, getting rid of excess meat before we boil, boiling it, and then coloring it, getting it ready to be nice pearly white bones to stick up on your wall to commemorate your kill. Anyway, I just want to warn you, this will be very graphic. I will be spraying brains like it's Vietnam. And so if you got a weak stomach, I suggest you dip. Anyway, I did a video like this before and I just feel it didn't do it justice. By justice, I mean time lapse and slow-mo video of the carnage. Anyway, let's get to it.
Alright boys, so what you see here is I'm cutting up the middle of the skull, then kind of walking those cheeks back, taking all that fur off. You got to cut through the ears and around the antlers, but then what you want to do is get rid of excess meat. In the cheeks, get rid of the eyeballs, the tongue, anything that'll slow the boil.
All right, she's been boiling for about an hour, or and when you pull it up, see how the skin is peeling off there? That means we can go ahead and start pressure washing.
Once boiled, just start blasting. Every nook, every cranny. Everything that's not bone has to come off. I didn't mention earlier, but I did use a half a scoop of OxyClean to my boil. I noticed it changes the consistency of the meat, so it is easier to come off the bone. But as you can see here, this job is not for the faint of heart or weak stomach. You will get covered in guts, so wear eye protection, rain gear, boots, etc. As you're pressure washing, you may start to notice that as the meat cools, it starts to get hard, and as it gets hard, it's harder to pressure wash off. So no big deal. What you want to do when this happens is just pop that bad boy back into the boiler for about 15 to 45 minutes, and then just pull her out, give her another blast.
Just stop the boil for the second time, and the brain on an elk is really hard to get out, so we're gonna go ahead and blast it one more time.
And finally, boys, the slow-mo brains shot. What we're doing here is trying to get every piece of flesh, every piece of brain off of the bone and out of the cavities. So when we do that, we get it ready for the color. The color is 40% by volume hydrogen peroxide.
Okay, so I got it in the hydrogen peroxide. As soon as it comes to a rolling boil, you pull it out and wash all of the peroxide off. I actually have 2 elk skulls in here, but yeah, I don't really know what happened there. It was like rotten. Anyway,
Here we have a before pick, and something I just wanted to get into is this is a velvet spike, meaning there's velvet on the antlers. That stuff is nearly impossible to preserve. It is flesh and there's blood, and it would just equal rotten stink, so I blasted that off. In this before and after picture, if you look closely, the finished product is missing his nose bone. No big deal if this happens on an elk or any animal. What you want to do is take that piece that fell off, hold it aside, finish the process, and at the end, use some super glue and pop that bad boy right back on. No big deal. The couple things I wanted to cover in closing. The time it took me was about 5 hours, including boiling time. The cost was a half a tank of propane and a couple jugs of 40 volume hydrogen peroxide. This can be picked up at any beauty supply, as this is what people use to dye their hair. I just wanted to cover also that my customers always end up happy and satisfied. They drop off a furry skull, the next day they get pearly white bones. All I do is what was in this video. Also, I cost about less than half of what the local taxidermist charges. Now, I'm not bashing local taxidermy. If anything, I am encouraging you to support them. It's a dying art form. A big topic I wanted to cover was the respect for the animal. And doing things like this respects the animal. That's using the fur, the meat, the bones, all of that. So there's parts of the meat that a human's not going to eat, but you could feed it to your dog, your friend's dog. Everything of the animal should be used, as my people have believed for centuries. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up anytime. I love to answer your questions. And as always, smash that like button as well as the subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for watching and have a blessed day, y'all. Peace and love.